Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer targets Declan Rice and Jadon Sancho. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has made Jadon Sancho a transfer priority this summer, despite some of our players wanting the club to sign Jack Grealish. It recently said Jadon Sancho loves the prospect of joining Man United this summer. The deal for Jadon Sancho could cost £77 million. Now the deal has been agreed for Sancho. He's already agreed the contract and the personal terms have been agreed. Fabrizio Romano recently said that Borussia Dortmund are ready to sell Sancho for around 80 million in the summer transfer window. He said Man United are interested, but he said there's been no official talks or bid yet. Jadon Sancho's representatives are more confident than ever that Sancho will join Man United in the summer. The other week it said that Man United could use Jesse Lingard to buy Sancho, because it did mention that Dortmund were interested in Lingard. Solskjaer's made his final decision on Jesse Lingard's future. He's ready to sell Lingard. The Manchester Evening News said Jadon Sancho is pushing for a transfer out of Dortmund this summer. Borussia Dortmund have already confirmed that they've got a gentleman's agreement with Sancho that will allow him to depart the club in the summer transfer window. Bayern Munich have been in for Sancho, Chelsea have been interested in him, and Liverpool have been interested in him. But Sancho actually expects to complete a move to Man United this summer. Last summer, he was our number one priority target. And last summer, Jadon Sancho to Manchester United was extremely close. The personal terms were agreed, the agent fees were agreed, the wages were agreed, and a contract was agreed. The reason we didn't get him is because we was reluctant to meet Borussia Dortmund's 108 million valuation. We was only willing to pay so much up front. Dortmund made it clear to us that we had until the 10th of August to sign the player. We missed out on that deadline, so he remained at Dortmund. Fabrizio Romano has spoken a lot about the Sancho saga, and so too has Bild's Christian Falk. This has been Sancho's fourth season at Dortmund. Analysing the vast majority of his career at Dortmund, he's been very consistent. He has enjoyed a couple of bad periods. He's under contract with Dortmund until 2023. Dortmund paid just £7 million for him from Man City. He enjoyed a couple of years at Man City, but he never got in Man City's first team. That's the reason he departed Man City, and before Man City he was at Watford. He was at Watford from the age of 7 to the age of 14. If we do sign Jadon Sancho, I think that'll be very good business by Man United. The reasons is because he'll dramatically improve us. He would exceed expectations in the Premier League. He's a player that can create good chances and he can score good goals. He's got a very good friendship with Marcus Rashford. He talks to him a lot. And he's predominantly a right winger. Now, Declan Rice is our main midfield target. Declan Rice did recently say that he wants West Ham to get Jesse Lingard on a permanent transfer. Reports were coming out the other month saying that Declan Rice is interested in joining Man United. And he asked Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw about life at Old Trafford. It said West Ham were demanding £100 million. I think £100 million is too much for Rice, but I reckon he's worth in between £60 to £70 million. Actually, Solskjaer agreed with our recruitment team earlier on this year that Rice would be the perfect signing for the club, and Darren Fletcher did reveal that Declan Rice asked about Man United when he was on international duty with England. The reasons I'd take Declan Rice at Manchester United is because, one, he's well proven in the Premier League. Obviously learnt his trade in the Premier League. He's still young. He's got a lot of development in him. He would dramatically improve us, and he's predominantly a holding midfielder, and Man United are in search for a holding midfielder. He'd be a good adequate replacement for Matic. Rice can also be deployed as a centre-half, so they are the reasons. Rice has been a long-serving player at West Ham. He's been with them for 7 years. He's got a contract with them until 2024. Before he was at West Ham, he was at Chelsea. He was in their youth setup for several years, but he actually never got in Chelsea's first team, and Chelsea were in for him at one point. Obviously, Manchester United want to sign Raphael Varane from Real Madrid. Now, Man United have held talks with Raphael Varane's representatives. Liverpool have also been interested. Fabrizio Romano did say not so long ago that Raphael Varane is the main name on Man United's list, and it said we're seeing what happens with Varane's situation at Real Madrid. Varane is leaving Real Madrid. Real Madrid are demanding £60 million. They did reject a £40 million bid because it did mention we was preparing to put a £40 million bid in. It said at one point that Chelsea were the favourites to sign Varane, and it said Chelsea were prepared to pay up to £61 million. It said earlier on this year that we'd been handed a boost in our pursuit of Raphael Varane because it said that Real Madrid were closing in on the signing of David Alaba from Bayern Munich. Raphael Varane did say though, didn't he, earlier on this year that he's keen on a move to the Premier League. Back in 2018, we was prepared to sanction a £100 million move. We was in for him 10 years ago. Varane's current contract with Real Madrid expires next year. His contract talks with Real Madrid stalled a while ago. Raphael Varane would be a great signing for Man United. The reasons is because he's a world-class centre-half. He'd complement Harry Maguire well in our back line. He's highly experienced. He would exceed expectations in the Premier League, and he's got a great pedigree as a player. He's won 18 major honours as a player. So they are the reasons, and he's been a long-serving player at Real Madrid. He's endured 10 years with them, and he's made over 300 appearances in all competitions. Madrid paid just €10 million for him from Lens back in 2011. And yeah, we still do want a centre-half, despite Eric Bailly signing a new contract not so long ago. Jules Koundé from Sevilla, he's been another centre-half we've been looking at. Reports have come out today, like updated, just saying that Sevilla have set their asking price for Jules Koundé. It's £50 million. Man United, Arsenal and Chelsea are all interested. Damasio said not so long ago that Man United have already made contact with Sevilla regarding Jules Koundé, and he said Sevilla requested 65 million euros. He's top on our list. Earlier on this year, I think it was though, it said that Sevilla wanted around £68 million. Jules Koundé has been at Sevilla since 2019. Sevilla paid £21 million for him from Bordeaux. He's got a contract with Sevilla until 2024. He's got around the £78 million release clause, but his performances for Sevilla have been absolutely outstanding. I think he'd go very well alongside Maguire in our back line. Manchester United could sign Harry Kane in the summer transfer window. Harry Kane has effectively confirmed that he wants to leave Tottenham, because it said last week that he put a transfer request in. We're going to have to put a bid in of around 120 million to convince Tottenham to offload him. Man United, Man City and Chelsea have all been in contact with Harry Kane's representatives. Said last week that Man United and Man City were set to offer Harry Kane 80 million in wages. He'll either come to us or Man City. I'm very, very sceptical that he'll go to Chelsea. Daniel Levy, Tottenham's chairman, last week he was furious with Harry Kane for going public with his desire to leave. Obviously, Daniel Levy doesn't want Tottenham to sell Harry Kane because he is aware of how much of an imperative player that Kane is. Kane obviously came out and said that he'll decide on his own future, not Daniel Levy, because he did have an interview with Gary Neville last week regarding his future. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is open to selling Anthony Martial to fund a move for Harry Kane. Gary Neville has come out recently and named 3 players Manchester United could swap for Harry Kane. That's Anthony Martial, Jesse Lingard and Daniel James. Ian McGarry on the Transfer Window podcast, he says Man United are preparing to buy Harry Kane. Says Man United are ready to double his wages to around £400,000 a week. And he says we would pay an 18 million signing on fee to compensate. What he's obviously lost on his Spurs contract. Obviously, quite a few weeks ago, Kane came out and said that he's ready to ask Tottenham to listen to transfer offers this summer. And he says the Glazers were planning to sanction the £90 million bid. Kane's already confirmed that he wants to win team trophies. He said that after Tottenham's Carabao Cup final defeat to Man City. Tottenham have not won a trophy for like 13 years. Harry Kane recently won the Golden Boot. He's won it now 3 times. Kane has been a long-serving player at Tottenham. You know, he's been with them for like 17 years now. You know, came up their academy. He's been in their senior squad since 2009. And he's under contract with Tottenham until 2024. He's had loan spells before with Leyton Orient, Millwall, Norwich and Leicester. But don't forget, you know, we have done business with Tottenham before. Solskjaer has refused to rule out signing a striker, despite Edison Cavani signing a one-year deal not so long ago. Solskjaer recently demanded 3 new transfers in order for Man United to challenge for the Premier League title next season. Can Man United challenge for the Premier League title next season? Well, it all depends on how we recruit in the summer transfer window. I'm expected to win another title at some point. I'm sceptical we'll win one under Ollie though. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013. That's 8 years ago now. But not long now until the summer transfer window opens. It is open on the 9th of June, I think. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is aware of how big the summer transfer window is going to be for himself and Manchester United in general. It's very imperative that Solskjaer gets the players he wants to recommend in. You know, the summer transfer window is going to be his 5th transfer window as Man United manager. And I want Solskjaer to get the backing he deserves. He should do, because we've got John Murtough, he's our director of football. We've got Darren Fletcher, he's our technical director. And we've also got Matt Judge. And he's been part of the club for a long time. I just don't think Solskjaer's been backed enough so far, and in that aspect, the blame stems from the board. I'm expecting outgoings in the summer transfer window. Solskjaer did recently say there may not be many outgoings as we first presumed. You know, maybe 2, 3 or 4 will just leave in the summer transfer window. I think we're going to loan some players out as well. But there is still deadwood at Manchester United. I've already gone through with you the players that I think should leave. I think Romero needs to go. I think Lee Grant needs to go. I think Jones needs to go. We need to loan Williams out. We've got to get rid of Diego Dalot permanently. We'll be looking at getting rid of Andres Pereira permanently. He's out on loan with Lazio at the moment. Matic, I think we need to offload him. I'm expecting Man United to offload Matic. Juan Mata, I think we should offload him. We don't know what's happening yet, because Solskjaer did recently say that no decision has been made on Juan Mata's future. His current contract expires very soon. And I think we need to offload Anthony Martial, because he's no longer good enough to represent the club. And he was poor last season. Really, really was. But he has been out with an knee injury for a while. And he's obviously out for the Europa League final. So the players that we do sell in the summer transfer window will generate money, and it will help us with our rebuilding process. But there's obviously a lot of players that will stay at Man United, and I reckon there's quite a few players that have got long-term futures at the club. But we're going to be focusing on this Europa League final before we focus on the summer transfer window. Obviously, we do play Villarreal on Wednesday night. It's Gdansk, which is in Poland. It's obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first major final as Man United manager. It's our 8th European final. Solskjaer's looking to win his first trophy as Man United manager, and he knows how imperative it is to get his first trophy on the board. You know, we haven't won a trophy since 2017, but we win the Europa League. That gives us confidence, and that gives us something to build on going on into next season. I've already given you the preview for the final. I recently give you my starting 11 prediction. Solskjaer has named a 26-man squad for the final. By the way, Harry Maguire has been named in the travelling squad for the final. I'm still very sceptical that he will be involved because obviously he's got ligament damage in his ankle. He's definitely a big miss. But next season is massive for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and I think he's aware of that because next season he has got to exceed expectations if he is to remain Man United manager. If it all goes wrong next season, I think there's a very, very good chance he will get sacked. Solskjaer's now endured 2 full seasons at Man United, and he's been Manchester United manager now around 29 months, so that's obviously over 2 years. Obviously, next season will be his 3rd full season at the club. Just wait, I've got to put my light on. But you know what? Solskjaer deserves a lot of credit. I didn't expect him to do as well as he has done. And in that aspect, I am shocked. You've got to say he's done well to say the squad he was left with when he got appointed in as Man United manager. Secured as a 2nd place finish in his 2nd full season. We've gone the entire Premier League season undefeated away from home in the Premier League, which is a record. He's got us to the Europa League final, got us to the FA Cup quarter-final in his 2nd full season, also got us to the EFL Cup semi-final. In his 1st full season, he got us a 3rd place finish, guided us to 3 semi-finals, got us qualification for the Champions League. We've enjoyed very good periods under Ollie where we have seen consistency. He has made good signings as Man United manager. So far, he's spent almost £300 million at Manchester United. And he's also got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he's come in. And I like the way he has promoted the youth. So they are the positives regarding Ollie. Obviously, I've got my concerns about him as well. My 2 biggest concerns is that he doesn't have a proven pedigree as a manager, and his decision making also concerns me. Earlier on this year, it said that Solskjaer agreed a 3-year contract worth 30 million. It's likely to be 2 years with an option of an extra 1. He has just under a year left on his current 3-year contract. But Solskjaer has gained managerial experience, reflecting how long he's been at the club. He has learnt quite a bit on the job as well. And he's tried a few different elements. We did appoint Solskjaer in December 2018 to replace Mourinho, and he's been permanent Man United manager since March 2019. We're given the job permanently a couple of years ago, reflecting how well he did as the interim manager. Before Solskjaer was with us, he was at Molde. He won a few Norwegian titles at Molde, but they're not a big club. He's actually had 2 spells at Molde. And at one point he was at Cardiff, and his record at Cardiff was absolutely disastrous. Don't forget he managed the Man United reserve team for a couple of years. So he watched some of the team grow and develop. But he is our best manager since Ferguson. Obviously, 3 managers have been sacked since Ferguson. That was David Moyes, Louis van Gaal and Jose Mourinho. And we're not even really known as a sacking football club. But in the last 8 years, Man United have been playing catch-up. In recent years, we've overpaid for players and our recruitment has been very, very poor. We've got to get the Glazers out of the football club. The reasons is because the Glazers have put us in so much debt. And in general, I hate the way the football club has been run for a long time. You know, the Glazers bought Man United for 500 million back in 2005, so they have been at the club now for 16 years. Got to recommend new owners in. Really have. Joe Glazer will be attending the fans forum on the 4th of June. Not so long ago, Joe Glazer wrote a letter to Man United fans, and Avram Glazer, don't forget, refused to apologise over the European Super League. Solskjaer said at the beginning of May that the Glazers apologised to him. He did say the violent incidents went too far, but he says the club need to take notice of the fans, and don't forget, Ollie was angry with Gary Neville over the Man United protest. You know, Gary Neville had quite a lot to say on it, didn't he? You know, will all this protesting force the Glazers out of the club? It said not so long ago that the Glazers could be forced to sell Man United, but for only £4 billion. Before that, it said the Glazers have got no intentions of selling the club. Joe Glazer did release a statement apologising over the European Super League plans. Didn't he? But Solskjaer did say at one point that the Glazers will not sell Man United, and he told protesters that Joe Glazer loves the club. We've obviously already got Woodward out. You know, earlier on this year announced that he resigned as Man United vice chairman, and he's going to be standing down at the end of the year. All United fans were happy with the news regarding Woodward, because we've been very critical of him for such a long time. You know, Woodward's had a 16-year association with the club. Who will be our new chairman to replace Ed Woodward? Like I've said, we're never going to be the team that we was under Ferguson. No one will replicate what Ferguson did, and no one will last as long as Ferguson did. You know, Ferguson enjoyed, what, a 26-27 year tenure at Man United. He won 30 odd trophies, including 13 Premier League titles. So, reflecting on that, he brought success to the club. But Ferguson didn't settle in straight away, because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at Man United, did he? I think we've made mistakes in the last 8 years, and that's why we haven't been as consistent as we'd like to have been. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.